All right, hello everybody. It's been a while since I've recorded a video, but we are on to our 8th Twilight Open. 8 years of majors. Crazy. We started these back when county events were like really pissing us off, and now I find myself running the county events, which is kind of wild. But our 8th preview. Last year, Sugarloaf. We had Hand win championship, Puzzy win first flight, and Jake win second flight. And we are only going to have Hand defending because we had Puzzy move up to championship. Not that he chose to move up, it's just where his average score put him. And same with Jake. Jake is now playing in first flight. So good to see people improving, moving up in the world. And let's get into it here. This will only be one link now because I have a subscription on this that lets me go as long as I want. So you will be able to click on, well, you will have clicked on this if you are currently watching me. Here are the tee times. We ended up with 30 guys. Awesome turnout. 11 in championship, 11 in first, and 8 in second. So I put the 2 threesomes out first, then first flight, finishing with championship, and then second flight is going to go last. They have a perfect 8 guys, foursome, and a foursome. Rules, as you guys know by now, we're playing, well, let's start with tees. First and second flight, you're going to play the whites. I know I have these highlighted in yellow, but that's just to show you the different flights. The manor is so short that, 5120, if I go down here and look at past courses we've played, yeah, the white tees at the manor are going to be shorter than any past senior tee that we've even played. So yardage is not an issue, so I'm going to be putting both first flight and second flight off the whites. Championship will play the blues at 5,400, but once again, if you look at past yardages, we're talking about it being 1,000 yards shorter, 900 yards shorter than Pine Meadows, which is the previously shortest one. If you want to go to our longest, playing Iron Valley and Sugarloaf at 7,000, we're looking at 1,400 yards shorter, and that is playing the tips. So yardage, not going to be an issue at all. Our usual rules we have where you are allowed to roll a grip length in your own fairway. That also means fringes fairway, so that counts. Bunkers, rake in place, play it down everywhere else. Our one rule, obviously we're hitting 18 cups. And our big rule changes, we don't play OB. Everything is considered a hazard. Fescue, out of bounds, any real water hazard, just a lost ball, like you can't find your ball in the woods. All of those will just be played as a stroke penalty, okay? Wherever it went in, come to an agreement, drop it, take a stroke. I find that just makes golf so much more enjoyable. You don't have to go back to the tee, just drop and move on. The game's hard enough. Entry fee. So this is in addition to what the round costs, which honestly I think, is it $22? I'm kind of blanking, but it's super cheap if you have the book. And then $22 on top of that. So the breakdown is 10 goes into the purse in your flight, 10 goes to skins and CTPs, $2 goes to Scroff. Scroff's fee used to be $1, went up to $1.50, so I'm just charging everyone $2 for that. Betting, that's obviously going to be the big thing that I'm talking about. Betting's great, pays for a lot of stuff, pays for my trophy plates, the CTP markers throughout the year, like any miscellaneous item that I need. Obviously, the end of the year party we can usually have an open bar for a couple hours because of that. So I appreciate all of your support, with obviously a chance to win money on top of it. So you'll see the odds below. I actually was very curious of how much VIG I was charging on these futures, because I usually would just completely make them up. So I ran all of the flights into a VIG calculator to see what my hold percentage was. It actually wasn't as bad as I thought. The championship flight one's the closest. That's like a legit, if you were to bet like a 12-person PGA Tour shootout event or something, it's right on like a 20% hold of what you would see realistically. The other flights aren't quite as good. They're a little higher vig. I think they're in like the 30 to 40% hold range, which is definitely high. So your best bang for your buck is championship in this event. Why it came out like that, I don't really. I think because it's a little more tight than the other flights. But I was just curious of how bad I was screwing people, and it turns out I wasn't really screwing people at all. It's pretty close to what real sports books pay. And also, like, don't be afraid to ask. I'm just giving you the regular to win the event. You can ask me for a certain player's over-under. You can ask me for your own over-under. I mean, you can't bet your over, but I will come up with a line for an over-under. A lot of people do parlays, like somebody to win first flight, somebody to win second flight, parlay together. Exactas, like to play to, two guys to come in first and second in that flight, or any type of prop like will somebody eagle number one. Anything like that. I will come up with an odds and get back to you on it. So have some fun with those. I like seeing those crazy prop bets. Here's our past winners. Now I just have these as the open, okay? I don't have anything below. I have stats for the Masters, but this is just the open. This is our 8th edition. So championship flight going back to 2017 was our first year. Foster, Steve, Hands, Bailey, myself, and then Hand has won the last 2. He's actually our only repeat winner for championship flight. He does not have a Masters, but he has 3 opens. So Han looking for the 3-peat. First flight. Billy D, Doug, Stu, Soup, Joe, Billy D, Puzzy. So Billy D's our only repeat winner. He has 2 opens looking for his 3rd. And like I said, Puzzy is not defending because he is playing up. Then second flight. Geez, there's some old names on this list that don't play anymore. Al Schollenberger, Baney, Bendetti doesn't play anymore. Conroy, we really don't see anymore. And then we had Cuffy, Doc, and Jake's in first flight. So no one defending in second as well. And let's just start right there. Oh, damn, I forgot to pin manor averages. I will retroactively do that in the email. Although I don't think many of these guys. I can actually do it real quick while we're talking. This will be great podcasting that you can see behind the scenes how I do this stuff. But I don't think many people in this flight have played it. So EC 92.8. This is a real look at the grinding that I do for emails. See, look at some of these old names in here that need to be deleted too. Jack 78. Jeez, that's it. I want to do one quick scan for that, make sure I didn't miss anybody. And that's all the second flight guys that have played here. And obviously this is a course, guys, those of you that have played it know it's tricky. There's a lot of blind stuff going on. Oh, Ebbs played it. 84.7. A lot of blind shots, a lot of crazy greens. It depends who you ask on what they think of the place. Obviously I was the sole person that voted for it. I love it. I think it's super cool. Some people hate it because, they're fair police. And if something's not fair or they can't see something, they kind of freak out on the course. Obviously, I would take that in mind when you're betting, but you can also look at their averages. So we got Cuffy, who I made the favorite. He has not played it before, but that still doesn't change my opinion. He has by far the best record. I mean, and I added a new column here. I have So, okay, let's start. Their odds, average score this season, which some are deceiving because they haven't played a lot. If they played the manor, what their average is, how many total majors they've played, how many they've won, how many top 3 finishes they've had, and their average. So I mean, look at Cuffy. He's come in the podium stand. I have a typo here. 1, 2. He's coming to podium 5 out of 5. So your win play show bet for Cuffy, you're just cashing every single time with him. And while I'm at it, I'm going to fix that mistake that I have as well for Cuffy so I don't forget. So he, I think, is the class of the field here because of his previous records. I know he's only won one of them, but I mean T2, solo second, and T2 at Sugarloaf last year. I don't care really that he hasn't played the course. I think he's deserved favorite, and I think he's going to take the most money. I'm making Jack second. I do like that he's played here, that he shot, especially now that I like that he shot 78. So I do like the fact that I made him 2-1. He only has one top 3, and it was last year at Sugarloaf. You can see he's trending in the right direction here. So I do like Jack. Eck has played here quite a few times. 92.8. He's played in 7 majors, top 3, but it's been since 2019. But Eck's game, let's see, T6 at Sugarloaf last year. Eck's been working hard. His swing looks really good. So that's why I have him as 3rd favorite. Ebb has not, I don't think Ebb's played since BMV in January. So talk about a long Twilight layoff. And talk about a long major layoff. He played in our very first Masters in 2017, came in 3rd. Hasn't played in a major since. I made Ebb 5-1. I made Doc Marangel 5-1. Doc, our veteran of the group, 10 majors played. He does have his win in 2022 at Pine Meadows, and he came in 3rd at Iron Valley. There's a dog at the door. Hang on. Just great YouTubing here. This is stuff they probably teach at universities now, of making changes on the fly, letting dogs in. Bill Burke, I made at 5-1. He played his first major at Sugarloaf last year. Doc Puzier made a 5-1. He also played his first one, so him and Bill came in 8th and 9th. Neither of them have played the Manor. And then you have Jimmy Nida. He played in his first one last year as well. I made him 7-1 to finish off the flight. So those are all your longer shots there. I'd be shocked if it didn't come in one of those top 3 guys. $80 purse for second flight, so you got $40, $25, $15. Remember, if you do win the major, you are automatically qualified for the Ryder Cup. It does not matter how many more events you play in. So that is second flight. Think that one's a little bit top heavy. Speaking of top heavy, first flight. So I decided to make Joe minus 200 for a couple reasons. One, I think he's a stud, and he's talk about a great course for Joe that you just don't have to worry about him hitting any longer clubs in. It's super short. I played with him at Mazellum at Monday in the Berks Junior Senior, and he hit it great, but it just sucked for him because the course was just so long. The greens were perched up. He was hitting hybrids in the holes that just aren't meant to receive hybrids, and he's just not going to have an issue with that at the Manor. And his track record's obviously unbelievable. 6 majors. He's won half of them. He has only come in outside the top 3 once. So you can look. Now, why some of these are blank for Joe, and I should have said this in second flight as well, is these are only the major results for that flight you've played in. So Joe has qualified for championship. I think both of the ones last year he qualified for championship. So that's why some of his stats are missing. But you can see when he does play in first flight, he absolutely dominates it. So we have 3 wins, 5 top 3s, Manor average of 72. Everything's going Joe's way. I made a minus 200. So that, for those of you not into betting that much, that means you're laying, 20 wins at 10 or 50 wins at 25. I always get a lot of money on Joe. I know people are going to be parlaying him, so I wanted to make him all right, lay your money if you want to bet Joe with the Manor. I think he's the one to beat. Now, Billy D is going to be, I think, the strong second favorite. I made him 1-1. Billy D has played in 10 majors in first flight. He's another one I think has played in. Yeah, he played in championship last year as well. 6 top 3s, 2 wins. He won at Fox Chase. He won at Pine Meadows. Bunch of second place finishes. So I feel like these first flight, when Joe and Billy D both qualify for them, they're the class of the field. So that's why I put them in the same pairing too with the top guys. As you know, they can battle it out. I think it would be great for the book if somebody came from off the pace. So speaking of that, I made Soup next best. Soup is played, once again, another one that's played some championship flight. He's won the only major he's played in first flight, Iron Valley in 2020. What a course for Soup too, right? Soup doesn't hit it as far anymore, but he's got his 6 short game. If anybody can make an upset, I like Soup's chances. Sav, 4 majors in first flight. He hasn't come on the podium stand yet. His best finish looks like was 5th, 2021, 2022. 81.5 average at the Manor. But I think he is your next best in that group of guys. Very similar to Baney. It's where I made them both 5-1. Baney's been playing great this year. His scores in the regular events have been fantastic. But he hasn't come on the podium stand either in first flight. He has a second flight major, but best finish would be 5th as well. So him and Sav, I think 5-1. They're solid. It obviously could happen. I thought that was fair odds for them. Then going down to the next 2, I put Alan and Doug. Now, Alan did win his first major last year. First one he played in. The Open at Iron Valley. Yeah, so he's 1 for 1. Him and Soup both you have in here. Now, Alan did decide to play up with my recommendation. I thought he was more of a first flight player. So I know he maybe hasn't been playing as well as he would have hoped this year, but he obviously won last year, so he has the chops to do it. Doug, 13 majors. He's got that 1 win in 2018, 3 top 3 finishes, 2 5th place last year, so that's about right where I have him in the odds, in the middle of the pack. Manor's probably a better course for Doug as well. He's played a ton of rounds there. Then I got some 10-1s. Mambo belts Toth and Jake. Mambo he did play in both first flights last year. So I know his second flight stats are great. He came in 6th and 7th last year. Beltsy, as we know, wow, I can't even believe it. He came in 3rd last year at Iron Valley. I believe he definitely had the lead on the 18th hole at Iron Valley. Sugarloaf, it might have been the lead on the 17th hole, but he played fantastic in both majors last year. But with that being said, there was no Joe or Billy D in the flight. So I think that's where it makes a big difference. That's why I bumped Beltsy up to 10. He was the only other guy who decided to play up with Allen. Everybody else decided to play in the flight that they qualified for. Tothy has played in 3 majors, best finish 7th, obviously got tons of raw talent. Talk about courses that might, I've been saying, oh, this fits him. Maybe not for Tothy because he just hits the shit out of the ball. And the Manor's a tight ballpark. Not tight, just small ballpark. But maybe he'll roast that 2-iron around there that he kills. And then Jake, he has played 1 first flight. Okay, so he played first flight, came in 10th. Came in second flight and won. So that goes to show you he's, bottom first flight, top of second flight type of guy. Has been improving this year as well, though, but still a long shot at 10-1. So this flight has 11 guys in it, $110, 50, 30, 20, 10 is the payout. I'd be shocked if this one didn't come out of the first 2. Really would be. Now, here's what I think this has the potential to be the most competitive toss-up flight that we've ever had. And usually it's opposite. Usually I'm saying that with first or second flight. Hey, there's 7 guys in this flight that could win it. But I think all of us are playing so similar that it could go absolutely any way in championship flight. So yeah, I have 5-1, and this is probably why this is the least amount of vig is on this flight, because I just don't think anybody deserves to be a 1-1 favorite. There's just too there's too many people that can win in this flight. So I just spread it out. Like, I'm hoping that this maybe a lot of people are going to try to take a stance with somebody they like. But I have a 6-way favorite at 5-1 in championship flight. So let me go through those 6 that I think are the favorites, and that's starting with Hand. He's won the Open 3 times. Last year came in first in T2. 8 top 3 finishes out of 13 is super impressive. But I would think if you ask him, he would say he's probably not playing his best right now. But he's obviously played the Manor a bunch with a 71 average and playing high school golf there too. He's won enough of these. He's come in the top how many times? 5-1 for Hand. Laud, 11 majors. He's won 1. Sunset 2021. He also has 8. So 8 of 11. Doing a quick scan, it looks like that's our highest top 3%. So yeah, if you bet on Laud, you're most likely going to get a podium stand. He came T2 at Sugarloaf last year. 70.4 Manor average. That's what you're going to see as I'm going through these. Like, all of these are so similar. Manor averages, past stats. Steve, really playing good golf right now. Played awesome at the Invitational. Even though he's got... So for those of you that saw Steve with his glasses at BMV, seems to have gotten that figured out now. Yes, he still is wearing glasses, but he seems to be more comfortable with that, so I don't think you have to worry about him looking for his balls or anything anymore. So Steve's won 4, so he has our most majors out of anyone. He won that stretch right here in the middle. He won 4 out of 5, but hasn't won since then, 2020. And actually, podium, he only came in the podium once since 2020. So not the best results for Steve. Don't matter. Still like him. Still a stud. Bales is next. Bales won 1 major, but he's come in the podium 7 times. He won the Open at Iron Valley in 2020. Last year, he came T2 and 6th in the 2 majors. Bales has an average of 70 at the Manor, which, doing his scan, he has the lowest out of anybody, so he likes that course. He's playing some good golf, too. Driving it straight as an arrow. Myself, 14 majors, won 3, 8 top 3s, and they've come recently, too, as you can see. Oh, wow. It's actually, have come on the podium 4, 5, 7 of the last 7 have came on the podium. Probably going to jinx myself with that. And obviously won last year's Masters, T2 at Sugarloaf. I like the Manor. I voted for it. I think it's cool as shit. So I do enjoy the course. Pez, I personally think plays it. I think he has the course record. The Twilight course record at the Manor. 60. Oh, I can look it up. I have it right here. He went pretty deep. Pez, 65. So he shot 5 under in 2021. Yeah, you can see Bailey's name on here a couple times too for low front and low back. So yeah, obviously with their scoring averages of 70 and 70.3, both of them really like the course. Only thing with Pez though, 10 majors, he's only come in the podium stand once. The heartbreaking playoff loss to Hand back in 2019. He last year came in T4 and 7th. So those are my top 6 that I think I would give all of us an equal chance of winning. Going down a tier, but only like slightly going down a tier, to Decker and Jay-Z. Decker played 6 majors. He's come top 3 twice. So super solid. Last year, T4, 3rd in 2022. Has an average score of 71 at the Manor, so likes playing there. Jay-Z's been playing great golf in Twilight this year. For those of you that follow on the emails, you know, he's been low round many times. Has never come on the podium stand, though. 5th, 4th, 8th, and 9th. So that's why I have him 7. That's why I have Decker at 7. They're definitely more longer shots compared to the consistency you see with the 6 favorites. And then our longer shots. So I have Jonesy, Carson, and Puzzy all at 10-1. Jonesy's played in 4 championship flight. He's one that's played in first flight, kind of bounced back and forth. He came in 9th and 11th last year. Average is 74.5. You can see everybody in championship flight has also played the Manor, so the course isn't going to shock anybody. Carson and Puzzy are both making their championship flight debuts, so I don't have any stats for them. They've both played the Manor. But all 3 of those guys, long shots, it would take a good round from any of them too. And that's the thing too with, some of the longer shots. You got to play a good round. Not only got to play a round, and especially in this instance, there's like 6 of the more consistent guys that you would need to falter. Obviously, some of us out of these 6 are going to do that, but to have that many at the top where we're all playing in the same one, and I would say nobody's particularly playing better than anybody else at this point. I'm really curious to see this one. Playoff, maybe? It's been a while. $110 in this one, 50, 30, 20, 10. Live scoring as always on Scroff, so just have this email saved. I'll probably send another one closer to Sunday as well. And get those bets in. I forgot to edit this at the end. The betting windows for sure will be open until... Yeah. I would say get them to me. I don't want to be doing anything Sunday morning. So, yeah, I would say Saturday at midnight is probably pretty good. And I'll just figure them out later. Please don't text me bets. I just got to change this to Sunday morning. Yeah, don't text me anything Sunday morning. And I'll provide an update. I can delete that, but I'll give some updates the rest of the week. Today's, Wednesday? So I will probably give updates on Friday and Saturday with betting information. Like I said, have fun with it. If you want to come up with some different prop bets, like even course-related prop bets. I'm trying to think what's like the easiest hole out there. Those par 5s, 9's hard. No, the par 5s are all kind of hard. So yeah, I wouldn't say any of those. The par 4s, number 1 might be the easiest hole in the course, or 7. Like a prop bet on like total eagles on those holes. It's probably more like a will there be an eagle on like 1. Is probably close to even money. I would have to like go back and look at past Twilight events. But yeah, anything fun like that you're interested in, just let me know. I'm looking forward to it. Great turnout to start with 30 guys. And I hope you enjoyed the video. 27 minutes, I didn't talk too long. Good luck in your betting. Good luck if you're playing. And have a good night, everybody. I will talk to you later.